What if I told you that the future of Black storytelling was already here? Hey, what up, y'all? My name is Reagan, and welcome to The Shell. Today, we're talking Afrofuturism and intergenerational healing through immersive world building. How can we use storytelling, culture, and creative and immersive technologies to bridge generations and imagine expansive Black futures? In this episode, we're breaking down what Afrofuturism really is, how immersive world building can be a tool for healing, and why this moment, right now, is the perfect time to reclaim our narratives through innovation.
You find Earth boring, just the same old, same thing. Come on, sign up with Outerspaceways Incorporated.
Now, Afrofuturism is a movement that's been woven into the Black experience for generations, even before we had a name for it. At its core, Afrofuturism is about reshaping Black futures and focusing on our narratives beyond solely just our survival. It's about the celebration of our alchemy and the ability to thrive. And in doing so, we look through the lens of technology, culture, spirituality, and ancestral wisdom. It's a bridge between the past, the present, and the future, where we use the knowledge of where we've been to inform where we're going. This concept is deeply rooted in Sankofa, a principle from the Akan people of Ghana, which teaches us that we must look back in order to move forward. A reminder that our past is not something to be forgotten, but a foundation to build upon. When we talk about Afrofuturism, it's not just about sci-fi or space and Wakanda, even though those are very dope things. It's about how we learn from the land and our ancestors and how we leverage the resources of the present, how we can use imagination and innovation to build futures that reflect our highest possibilities. Think about it. Black people have always been futurists, okay? We have always been world builders, from the Underground Railroad to Black Wall Street, to the way our ancestors envisioned freedom long before it became a reality. We have always crafted new possibilities beyond the limitations placed upon us. Afrofuturism is not new. Across history, countless Black visionaries have embodied Afrofuturist principles, pushing boundaries, blending past wisdom with future possibilities. Octavia Butler, a masterful sci-fi writer who envisioned futures where Black people navigate dystopian worlds, time travel, and alternate realities. Her books, like The Parable of the Sower, were not just stories. They were blueprints for survival. Sun Ra, a jazz musician who didn't just make music, he built an entire philosophy around Black liberation and cosmic consciousness, claiming that he came from Saturn and that music was a vehicle for transcendence. George Washington Carver. People think of him as just the peanut guy, but he was a true Afrofuturist. He saw the land as not just soil, but as an ecosystem of endless possibilities, teaching sustainable agriculture and developing over 300 products from peanuts, sweet potatoes, and other crops to empower Black farmers. And lastly, John Jennings, a contemporary visual artist who fused graphic novels, horror, and speculative fiction to tell stories of Black resistance and liberation in alternate realities. Afrofuturism isn't just about imagining better futures. It's also about ensuring that we heal the wounds of the past so those futures can actually manifest. That's why intergenerational healing is at the center of this conversation. Too often, knowledge gets lost between generations, and that's by design. Whether it's through forced assimilation, systematic oppression, or digital erasure, our histories have been stolen, rewritten, diluted, and through that loss, we've been disconnected from the wisdom that should be guiding us forward. But healing happens when we bridge those gaps. When elders share their stories and youth bring fresh perspectives, when we merge ancestral wisdom with emerging technology, and that doesn't just mean electronic, we create something that speaks to the past, but also builds the future. Take land stewardship, for example. Our ancestors knew how to work the land, grow their own food, and sustain themselves without reliance on broken systems. Today, we have technology that can track soil, optimize water usage, and use AI to map out sustainable farming solutions. The key is not just choosing between ancient wisdom and new innovation, it's combining them. Or let's talk about music, right? Our elders sang spirituals that carried hidden messages for liberation. Today, artists are using AR, VR, and AI generated music to tell new stories. But the themes of survival and love and resistance remain the same. The technology hasn't changed, but the essence of our storytelling has not. If we want to reclaim our narratives, we cannot afford to move forward without bringing our past with us. And that is why Sankofa, world building, and intergenerational knowledge is so critical. We see all of these movements like indigenous futurism, Latinx futurism, and queer futurism because across history, marginalized people have had to fight for the right to imagine themselves in the future at all. Colonization, forced displacement, and systematic erasure have tried to write us out of history, but those movements remind us that we've always innovated, adapted, and built worlds for our own, by our own. So, what are some other futurisms you've come across? Drop them down in the comments, and if you're into these kind of conversations, tap in with me. Follow the She.LL on TikTok, the Gram, and on YouTube, and let's keep this dialogue going. Talk to you later.